What's up, guys? We are on the square in Lawrenceville. I wanted to do a quick tour to update everybody on the status of construction. A lot has happened since the last video. We are currently in the back of the building. This is where the courtyard will be, and we have gotten the CMU constructed over here on the left. We will be wrapping that with granite. It's going to look fantastic. The granite I actually got from the other side of the square where they are adding on to the Aurora Theater, and we'll be reusing that. Sort of some neat history there. We still have to dig out the back of the courtyard. This next week we're going to install our last two columns, and we have the footings poured for those. And so you can see a column here and a column here, and then we're going to take out this back brick wall, and eventually we'll have a complete glass wall open to this courtyard. But it's sort of neat. You can see some of the old stacked stones, how they just built the foundations. Today you pour concrete with some rebar, but this wall right here was probably built 75 years ago, and you just went out into the woods and found a bunch of stones. So this is a look back to the parking lot, but we're going to have a concrete wall poured here, really neat slit window, and that's where the fountain is going to be. Next week we're going to go pick up the gargoyle, so I'll have that in hand, and I'll take some video of that too. So one of the things that we have done this last week is the power has been removed so that we can take out this back wall. So we don't have any power in the building. We've been running off generators, and that's just something that you do in construction. You can see here we have all of the finished wood for the front windows, and again, this is the break area. We have all of the rough-in for the electrical and rough-in for the fire alarm complete. And we just recently completed some patchwork on the old brick. We've talked about how we've had some problems with this brick dusting. The original Lawrenceville brick is very soft, and so over time what happens, I think it's either rising damp, so water that's wicking up from the soil when it rains, or it may be condensation that's forming from the florist next door and the newspaper. It's very humid right now, and so what happens is water kind of forms on the surface. You can actually see some right here. So water will form on the surface. If you can see the beads, and then that water leaches out the minerals that are in the brick, and so those minerals are what's holding the brick together, and it just disintegrates once they're gone. But what we have done is we've gone through and sprayed this wall again with this penetrating stabilizer sealer, and it's supposed to get rid, or at least stop that eroding action. We'll see how that goes long term. I imagine I'm gonna continually be replacing bricks right here. We have a few left over. These bricks right here are from 1937, from the front of the square, old building up there. They're a little bit darker. I don't mind the patchwork, it's sort of neat. Some more of the sapele wood right here. And you can see you can start to see it, our Latin epigram is in there. So we try to put that Latin epigram on every project, and just kind of hide it in different places. So the steel stair looks fantastic. You can see some of the light coming down through it. Once we open that up, you really should see a lot of nice light. These are the old doors. The best I can tell, the doors are from the 1930s, and everybody told me just to replace them, which would probably have been cheaper. But we went back through, we took them apart, we re-glued them, and primed them, and I've got all the old hardware. Some of the hinges are right here, and the hinges themselves are nearly 100 years old. Here's a hinge right here. And so we'll put those back on. I've got the old door sill, that's heart pine right here, and we'll put that back on as well. But let's go. I wanted to show you the front windows, but real quick before we get up there, let's take a look at these stairs. So you can see the light. The whole idea was this passing through from front to back, and these open risers are fantastic because they don't impede the view to the square. So this is going to be really neat when it's finished. We got some more of the wood here. This wood is called sapele, and sapele is an African hardwood. We have pretty much decimated redwood here in the United States, and sapele is just a fantastic exterior wood in terms of being very stable. And you can see here it gets a real crispy edge on it. It's amazing how sharp that edge is. But look at the grain pattern. It's got this neat grain pattern to it. And this is just plain sliced. You can actually get a even better grain pattern if you do a quarter sliced. You can see some of it here. It's very tight. We are going to stain that. Now, this is one thing that I have been experimenting with. We took off the old copper sills, and you can see here they've started framing this exterior piece. This is supposed to look like a block that's been inserted in the front, and it's doing that. But down at the bottom, they had formed this concrete top to the brick wall. And originally there was this copper flashing, and the copper flashing itself, this copper is very thick. You can see over the years it's just really been beaten up. It looks fantastic. So I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate that, and that may be it right there. We may just take some of this copper and run it on the sills down here at the bottom. Here's a view back through the space. You can start to see the light coming through from upstairs. And here's the inside. It really super neat. You can see over in the corner where it's darkened, that's where the movie studio blew out the front windows and burned some of the brick a little bit. Kind of neat. But yeah, they're really getting the inside framed. We got this neat entry piece right here. This is what was original to the building. We just took everything out and are reworking it. The original framing, it had been redone, the storefront at some point, probably in the 50s, 60s, I would guess, and it was just single pane glass, and it really sweated this time of day. And so I just didn't want to deal with that. So we designed these custom wood windows, and they really should look fantastic. You can see our column here and how you're going to be able to see through the column and out onto the square. Just really neat. The guys are doing a great job. The brick really looks fantastic. Let's walk. We'll just walk down through here real quick, do a little loop, and we'll head upstairs. So this is all of the heavy lifting is being done in this room right here. This room will be behind a bookshelf. So we have our electrical panel in here and server and hot water heater. So none of that will be exposed. None of the ductwork is exposed in the space. This is a stereo cabinet, some shelves for albums. Here's a restroom and another restroom, and then back in our break area. Got the really cool panel here. We're gonna save that. Not quite sure what I wanna do with that yet. Again, we're gonna take out this back brick wall and open it up. But this is gonna be your experience going up to the second floor, and we very deliberately had you come in and turn towards the square. This is supposed to be a very confining feeling as you're going up, so that when you get to the top of the stairs, there's this release onto the square. So hopefully it should magnify the experience of coming up and being on the square. The guys have been doing some brickwork up here. It's just been a really slow go. It's hard getting subs out here, and this project is so particular. The controls are incredible. You can see all the wiring in the wall. And we got some fantastic lighting. So here's the back. Opens up and you'll be able to see down into the courtyard. We have a back raised area right here that'll have some stairs that'll go down. There will be a nano wall, which is a collapsible glass wall. It will open up, so we'll have a nano wall in the front and a nano wall here in the back. And so the second floor will be able to be completely open from the front to the back. So like right now, there's this very nice breeze and it's not too hot. So it's gonna be interesting if we open that up. We did that with COVID. I ended up adding the second nano wall in the back, kind of when COVID came around and everybody wanted some exterior spaces. So of course we have this exterior space in the front. It is designed to have a future canopy. You can see the stub ups there. We may very quickly add the canopy. During the winter time, you want the warmth from the sun, but most of the time it's just hot up here. Our other project is the restaurant over there. We have started on it, got the final plans approved. And I tell you what, I could walk down to the restaurant real quick and show you guys it. But here's the experience of going down the stairs. So it's just very narrow. And right now it's difficult too with these stiffeners. There will be heart pine wood on top of these stairs. And we'll have some handrails that we've got to make too. So one of the great things about being on the square is just the community of all the surrounding neighbors. I've enjoyed meeting everybody, getting to know everybody, and I'm sure that's going to even be better when we're up here working on a daily basis. And so I got to know one of the owners of a building 2 doors down here, and we have designed a restaurant on the 2nd floor addition, and then there's going to be hopefully a bakery on the ground floor. So you can see it's just right next to us. So here's the back. It's gonna be really neat. There's this glass corner right here, and some really neat stairs that will take you up to the 2nd floor. And so we've got some openings on this side, and the 2nd floor will be able to be very, very open and airy, was what the restaurant wanted. So we're starting on this hopefully next week with the digging out. We've got some piers we have to put in to support the footings, but we're going to get started on that. But yeah guys, that was a quick tour. We will see you next time. Bye.